So despite what you all may think you know of me, acknowledging this as a milestone and celebrating it is actually very difficult for me. I never really liked, throughout my life, acknowledging accomplishments or so-called accomplishments. And I'll never forget when I moved back to Texas from Washington, D.C. in the wake of losing my stepdad. And I was helping my mom clean out his home office, and I stumbled upon all my elementary school files. And I'm sure that it was a coincidence, but that meant so much to me that he was the one hanging on to those. And because it spanned the years before I came into his life at 12 years old. So to me, it felt like he was wanting to claim those years and hold on to them as if he had been there the whole time. So I started looking through these records, and I was struck by all these teacher assessments of me. And I noticed this kind of trend. Now, of course, I had amazing grades. Right, Mom? It's my mother, by the way. But there was this theme in all of these teachers' assessments of me that could be best summarized by my second grade teacher who wrote, "Lorie lacks the thrill of achievement." And that struck me because I've kind of always been that way. I've downplayed every single thing that I've done because I guess in my mind, everybody, including myself, just expected it of me. And more significantly, it doesn't mean I've done anything all that important or great. And you might be surprised to know that I continued to feel that way till just a few years ago. I've been driven nonstop by trying to do something significant and meaningful and to make a difference in this world. And everything I did along the way, from starting this practice, sitting on and leading nonprofit boards, to being recognized for business and leadership, to being elected and serving as the national president of the American Business Women's Association, to even running for United States Congress. All of that meant nothing. They were just stepping stones to whatever I was meant to do that would finally be important, that would finally matter. Now, to rewind back quite a bit, while I've always had that burning desire in me since I was so young, when we got transferred to Texas from Indonesia and I started 10th grade at Plano, I hit one of my biggest setbacks. I was mercilessly bullied for being different, for looking different, wearing my hair different, how I dressed. I got called names, I got chased down the hall, I had to be taken out of my PE class, and I stopped taking the bus. I was so humiliated and ashamed that I didn't want to be here anymore. And I often thought about ways that I wouldn't, if you know what I mean. Nevertheless, I persisted with the strong love of my family and with a teacher who saw something special in me. But that passion to make a difference was now a bit bitter and dark, and I felt that I had to prove myself to those kids that I was... But that passion to make a difference was now a bit bitter and dark, and that I had to prove myself to those kids that I was important, that I mattered. So fast forward to just a couple years ago, and I was talking to my therapist, and I was telling her about how I still have this feeling that I haven't achieved what I was meant to do. I told her about those kids and how I still have those voices in my head telling me that I'm a loser, that I'm worthless, that I'm no one. So she recommended that I write this letter to this hypothetical roommate to these voices and saying, "I don't want you anymore, get out." And I was really resistant to that, and I didn't understand why, so I had to think about it a little bit. And I thought at first that I didn't want to let go of those thoughts because they were motivating me, they were pushing me to do more and to be more. Then one day on my way home from the office, I was thinking about it more. Why in the world would I not want to get rid of those thoughts? And then it occurred to me, if I let go of the feeling that I wasn't important, that I was insignificant and hadn't done anything that mattered, Could it possibly mean that the opposite was true? And I just needed to accept it and acknowledge it. I was important. I have done great things. I do matter. And I have nothing to prove. And then suddenly, I started looking back at all these things I've done, the challenges I've faced, the roadblocks I've stormed through, the people I've led, the business I've built. And even though I hope that I have so much more to do, I started seeing all these things as significant, as important achievements just by themselves. And I look at all of you here celebrating today, clients, family, friends, some of you are all three, and you're all a part of this story. When I look at you, your support makes the bullies of my past powerless and, well, insignificant. They are a moot point, like a cow's opinion. They just don't matter. Did I ever think that starting this business at 27 years old, single, 2 cats, no kids, in my apartment on Preston Road, that it would ever be this? That one day, just a few miles from that apartment, there'd be a billboard with my face on it? That I would have found and met the most incredible partner in life in Kimberly? And that she would bless me with 2 incredible stepdaughters and then help me have 2 of my own? Adley, my buddy, and Poppy Jean? You girls have changed me. Just your existence makes me feel important and significant, and I never doubt for a second that I matter to you. So finally, there's one last group of people that I want to acknowledge, and that's the faces of Burch Law. Marissa, Lauren, Cynthia, Sarah, Gabby, Jordan, Sam, Shruti, Marcel, Duncan, Grant, and Kimberly. I hope you all know how important and significant you are, and how much you matter to me and to each other, and to the important work that we do helping people navigate life's biggest and most challenging things in life. And we talk a lot about legacy planning. All estate planning firms do, don't they? But when we talk about it, we mean the legacy of your life. Who you are, what differences you've made, the people that matter to you and that you in turn mattered. The story of your life. And while you all are oh so very young, and I hope that you have many, many adventures ahead, and Burch Law may end up being just a blip on the radar of your story, I want you all to know that in the story of my life, it would be incomplete without all of you. So I want to thank all of you for coming out today and celebrating this achievement with me and with us. And there's just one more thing I want to tell you, and that is, if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. All right, thank you all so much. Let's go over and have some cake.
Amazing. You made me cry.
I made myself cry.